These are the Picube Premium Weilong Pyraminxes, the standard and maglev versions. At 50 and 55 US dollars respectively, they are two of the most expensive Pyraminxes on the market. In this video, I will be discussing whether they justify the high price tag and whether they're worth getting. So what's the difference between the Picube Premium versions of these cubes and the standard versions? The main difference is that there are core-to-edge magnets put into the cube using a custom core. The Pyraminxes have also been lubed, but not loads, so the added magnets and new core seem to be the main difference. Let's move on to the performance of the cubes, starting with the standard version. If you've ever used a Stevens Weilong Pyraminx, this Pyraminx will feel very familiar. The turning is very smooth and fast, with the strong magnets nicely defining each move. Unfortunately, this cube is let down by the tips. It's no secret that the Weilong tips are not very good, but there are ways to make them better. So when buying a cube this expensive, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect good tips. The tips are a bit slow and don't go into place very nicely. Compared to the tips of the Stevens Weilong Pyraminx, I don't think they're as good. Overall with this cube, it's very similar to the Stevens Weilong. Very nice turning with not so great tips. However, I don't think it's as good as the Stevens Weilong, so I don't think you should get it. With that in mind, let's move on to the maglev version of this cube, because I think that is where the most interesting discussion is. The maglev Weilong is very fast, like uncontrollably so, and for a long time, this has meant that it hasn't seen use at the highest level. Any top cuber using the Moyu Weilong would use the standard version rather than the maglev, as the standard version was just better. However, I think that the Picube Premium version of this cube changes things. This cube is very fast, but it doesn't feel as uncontrollable as the non-Picube version, and I can turn very fast without locking up, despite the looseness of the cube. The tips are also a lot better than on the standard version. They are very fast and click into place very nicely, similar to the Yushin Little Magic. This cube fixes a lot of the issues with the standard one we discussed earlier, and I really like this cube. So should you get these cubes? Well, I think it depends on what you like out of a Pyraminx. The two best Pyraminxes at the moment are the Yushin Little Magic and the Moyu Weilong. The Weilong is better if you want a faster Pyraminx, and the Yushin Little Magic is better if you want a more controllable Pyraminx. Now, that's a generalization that's pretty vague and not super useful, but basically, you're either going to like the feel of the Moyu Weilong or the Yushin Little Magic. One of them is going to complement your turning style. If you prefer the Moyu Weilong Pyraminx, I think that the maglev Picube Premium one is the best one. I think it's better than the standard Weilong Pyraminxes, better than the Stevens Weilong Pyraminx, and better than the standard Weilong Picube Premium Pyraminx. The maglev Weilong Picube Premium is better than any of those. I think that if you like very fast Pyraminxes, or have tried a Weilong and liked it, that this one is the best option for you. So if you're willing to spend the $55, go for it. However, it is only marginally better than the other Weilong options, and if you haven't tried both the Yushin Little Magic and Weilong, you can't know for certain which one you'd prefer. So it might be better to not spend so much immediately, but instead get a standard Weilong and Yushin Little Magic, or try someone else's at a competition, then maybe get this one later once you have a better idea of what type of Pyraminx you like.